Is your sacroiliac joints or hips locked? Here are some effective exercises to help mobilize, support, and give you some much needed pain relief in this area. Let's perform the modified baby pose to get some much needed pain relief in your back. We'll begin by lying down on our back. And we're going to be bringing our knees to our stomachs. And go ahead and hold your legs. Now we can just hold this position while our back is flat to the ground for 30 seconds at a time. If you want to perform a self-massage for your back, you can also cradle or rock side to side at your own pace. If you're having troubles holding your legs in this position, you can also interlock your hands. Now, after you're cradling side to side, you can also rock up and down, just to get the different muscle fibers of your back. Now, if you want to advance this exercise, we can do the happy baby pose, where we are going to extend our legs a little bit, and you're actually going to hold the outside of your feet, like so, or holding on the great toe on both feet. And you can hold this position as well, and do rocking motions back and forth. Now, if you have troubles reaching the bottoms of your feet, this is where a band can come in handy. So, taking a band, and you can go ahead and wrap it underneath your feet, kind of like a stirrup. And then now you have more control in this position, and still getting the benefits of it. And the wider you bring your legs to do this exercise, you get other muscles to release as well. We're going to use our hands, making fists with our hands, and we're going to apply it on the sacroiliac joints. In doing so, we're going to apply pressure through our fists forward, and we're going to arch our back slightly. Now you can intensify the amount of pull that you feel in the lower back by applying more pressure through the fists. And you should feel the tension starting to release in that lower back. We are going to perform this exercise for about 30 seconds at a time, and you're going to really enjoy this because it feels so good to do so. While we're lying here on the ground, let's go ahead and do knee to chest stretches. We are going to do the version with our knees bent, and with one knee at a time, we are going to go ahead and pull our knee to our chest, and we can hold that for 15 to 30 seconds if you like, to help unlock the sacroiliac joints. Or you could do a version where you alternate between each side dynamically, and just holding it down just for a second or two. And you might notice that I switched my hands to behind the knees, and this is a good version if people are having or experiencing knee problems. So you can still perform this exercise pain-free. Now, another exercise similar to this is called knee to shoulder. So we're actually going to use our opposite leg with the one we're reaching with and pull towards that shoulder. And you hold this for 15 to 30 seconds as well, or do the dynamic version of it. just so we help increase the mobility of our sacroiliac joints. And similarly, if you have knee problems, go ahead and reach underneath that knee instead. And you still get all the benefits of this exercise. Now for the next exercise, we're going to do a modified lunging exercise using a dowel. Or if you don't have a dowel, you can use a household item like a broomstick, a mop stick, whatever you have handy. So using the dowel, we're going to use it as a support system. And if I'm having right-sided back problems with the sacroiliac joint, that is the one that I'm going to keep knelt to the ground. And the other leg comes up. I can hold the dowel with my hands here and making sure the dowel is centered in front of us and doing a tall kneeling position. And we're going to suck in our core or suck in our stomach to engage the core and squeeze the glute muscles. So while I engage the core and squeeze the glute muscles, I'm actually going to be lunging forward. And I'm actually being, at the same time, stretching the front of the hip and thigh, while also engaging that sacroiliac joint by contracting the muscles that surround it. And we can hold this for about 15 seconds at a time. Go back, take a little break if you need to. And then remember, engage in the core and squeeze the buttock muscles. And lunge forward again. And instead of this being a static exercise, you can also turn it more dynamic. But just making sure you engage the core and the glute muscles each time you lunge forward. Make sure that the lead leg and foot is comfortable and you're not kneeling past the toes like this. That might cause you some knee problems. Give yourself sufficient distance in front of you. So I'm going to show you with the other side. Making sure that feet and knee are hip width apart. And again, we're going to engage our core and squeeze the glute muscle, lunge forward, and you hold that position. Or do dynamic versions of it. Let's go ahead and perform some strengthening exercise to help build the endurance of the hips and sacroiliac joints by strengthening the buttock muscles that surround it. So a very good exercise is known as the bridge exercise. We're just going to be placing our hands right beside our bodies here, making sure our knees are hip width apart. And then from this position, we're just going to elevate and lift our pelvis and back up towards the ceiling, and making sure that our spine is in line with the thigh bone. And we can hold this position for about 10 to 15 seconds. Performing an isometric bridge exercise. Now, one thing to remember is that, again, we have to engage our core. So when we do this exercise, we are going to be doing just that. So when we're up in this position, making sure you suck the gut in and squeezing the buttock muscles while you're doing this to get the full effects of this exercise. Now, when you find that you're ready to advance this exercise, we're going to be using a chair or a Swiss ball. And go ahead and place your legs underneath it. So when we do this exercise, we can just do a bridge with the ball underneath our knees, like so, engaging our stomachs and our buttock muscles. Another exercise we can do are called hip thrusters. So instead of us just doing hip thrusters with the bridging motion like this, dynamic bridges, we can do this with our legs elevated on another surface like a chair or bench. And we can do it from here, making it a little bit more challenging. And we can do about 10 reps at a time. You can also turn this into a dynamic hip thruster exercise too. And we can just make sure that one leg is not contacting the ground, looking like a running man position. And performing it 10 times as well. I'm going to show you with the other side. You guys might find this a little bit more challenging, but quite effective. And now for my favorite exercise for the hips and buttock area that will also strengthen the sacroiliac joint region are clam shells. And then again, clam shells have been shown and demonstrated in the research to be one of the most effective exercises to help strengthen this region. Now, in order to do clam shell, we're going to keep our legs and knees bent in front of us there. And then we are going to go ahead and make sure that our feet are not touching together. And we can turn out our hip, opening up like the shell at about 45-degree angle towards the ceiling. And you can hold that for 15 seconds at a time for an isometric exercise. Or you can turn it into a dynamic exercise to open and close the clam shell. But do not touch between the 2 feet, or else I'll make it too easy. When you're doing repetitions, you can do 10 reps if you like. This exercise can also be performed with a TheraBand wrapped between the knees, just to add more resistance, make it more challenging.